so far. It is snowing here, and it's supposed to continue snowing for another couple of hours at least 2 more hours. Hey, Jude's Closet, PB&J Trading. Good morning, Dave from Alberta. Good morning, Jude's Closet. Welcome in, everybody. It's raining in BC, says Canadian Brick Cafe. Although I don't really like the rain either, so I'm Canadian, so I'm always going to complain about the weather. Good morning, Magnets by Marika. How are you? Magnus Meinberg is doing a weekly chat show as well on Fridays, right? I think. So check that out. And next week, Melody Cohn and I are going to have an announcement about a chat show that we're going to be doing on a weekly basis. You did the same when you lived in Regina. I'm sure in Regina it was like, it's snowing again. Yesterday was really good. Awesome. Tell me all about it. Hello, Prairie Knights. Welcome in. So feel free to share your shows and ask your questions. Although I do have this is Saturday, so it is a topic show. And this one's a special topic show. Lots of new sellers signed up for Whatnot. Awesome. Good morning, Melody. I was just saying that you and I are going to have an announcement next week, but not yet. Not yet, but we will have an announcement soon. Good morning, Melody. How are you? So we can announce. Oh, okay. Hang on. We haven't picked our first guest, but all right. Do you want to co-host really quickly, or are you low-key for the love of all things holy? What are you doing? All right. Let me just. Do you want me to co-host you? You're in your PJs. Are you? But you're presentable. PJs are presentable, in my opinion, unless they're unless you don't like your PJs. But that's okay. We don't have to. I'll just say it. So Melody and I are going to start a Friday morning fashion chat. We all did it during COVID meetings. Yeah. So we're going to be doing a fashion chat every Friday morning. Melody's going to come on with me, and we are going to discuss fashion and selling fashion on Whatnot specifically. We're going to be talking about what the differences are. Melody's going to teach me about the differences, and we are going to interview each week. We're going to interview us starting on Boxing Day. We're going to be interviewing a different Whatnot fashion seller. Hopefully different ones from not just Canada, but around the world. So we'll be interviewing them and asking them about their experience and what they recommend for other sellers who are looking to expand into the fashion market. Now, if you want to do the same sort of thing in your category, feel free to copy. And if you would like me to do like an introductory co-hosting thing with you to start it off, just send me a message and say, I'd love to do one in Lego, or I'd love to do one in comics. And I'll be happy to work with you to set that up, because I think that there are general things that we can learn from each other as sellers. And then there's also things that are very category specific that are good to talk about. Yes. And if you sell fashion and you want to be featured, just message either myself or Melody. Loki, fishy, go bye-bye. Sorry, everybody. This is the problem with having dogs. Loki, that's enough. Go settle. Here, take your bear and go settle, okay? Good boy. All right, so good morning, everybody. Welcome in. So that's our big announcement. But today is a very special show for because we're every Saturday. What I do is I specifically talk about one different topic, and we go in depth into the seller secrets to success on Whatnot with that topic. So we've done thumbnails, we've done video previews, we've done how to create a more dynamic show that people want to click into. We've talked about marketing. Today, we're going to talk about 2026 because it's almost here. I can't believe it's almost here. We have less than a month before it's going to be 2026. As far as I'm concerned, 2025 was a dumpster fire, especially for Canadian sellers, because of all the changes that happened and all the chaos that's happened. And I can't wait for 2026 to hopefully be better. But in order for me to make 2026 work for me, I need to start planning. And you guys need to start planning as well. So we're going to be talking about how to set goals as a Whatnot seller. And I'm going to be introducing you to My latest goal planning package that I've created for 2026 that's different from 2025. I've learned a lot since I created the one for 2025. The 2026 one is now available. It's past 10:15 a.m. So it is now live on my resources page. If you go to my profile, there's a little link. If you go up into my show notes, there's a link there. It's now live on that. It's also if you're in my Discord, my Red Rooster Discord, or the Whatnot Canada unofficial Discord, you're going to be able to find it there as well. So you can, if you want to grab it now and read along, or if you're watching this later on YouTube or Twitch and you want to grab it, the link is bit.ly/m/the capital T H little e capital R E D little capital R OOSTER, the Red Rooster, but it's all capitalized. So, thank you so much, Melody. You were awesome. So, goal setting for Whatnot sellers. Are we all ready? What I'm focused on for goal setting for Whatnot sellers is consistency first, smart scaling. We're going to talk about how to scale up your business. If you think you're ready for scaling up, we're going to talk about how to do smart scaling and growth in a challenging economy. So those are the three things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about consistency, smart scaling, and growth in a challenging economy. So first and foremost, this show is not going to be about a hustle culture. If you're looking for a hustle culture, that's not my vibe, and that's not what I like to teach. It's not about grinding harder in order to be successful on Whatnot, and it's definitely not about copying the biggest sellers in order to be successful on Whatnot. Today is about setting goals that actually work for real Whatnot sellers in a real economy with real inventory, real energy limits, and real lives, because the majority of us have lives outside of Whatnot that we also have to manage. So today we're going to be focusing on building consistency without burnout, scaling your business intentionally and not chaotically. I need to learn this. Knowing when and how to reassess your goals, and how to continue growing even when the economy feels tough. So today fits into a very simple and repeatable planner system that I've created that's included in the 2026 goal planner. So you can download that. So this isn't just something that stays theoretical and is just on this chat and then you forget about it. You can actually go into my resources, pull this up for free. You can use that QR code that's down below, pull it up for free, use it, print off as many copies as you want, share with as many people as you want. It's all free because I think that when we all grow, it's better for the more of us that are growing, the better it is for Whatnot. The more Whatnot grows, the more people are going to be joining Whatnot, the more all of us are going to grow. So we need to support each other. Okay, so defining success is different for every single person. Your version of success is not the same as my version of success, is not the same as PB and J's version of success, and Melody's version, and Dave from Alberta's version. Everyone has a different version of success, and I think that's, first of all, that's key. Like, I don't want you to say, I see Joe Hollywood or I see Harry Tornado and they've got X number of YouTube views and X number of YouTube followers, X number of sales on Whatnot, and I want to be just like them. Well, you're never going to be just like them, okay? Because you're not them. Ain't gonna happen. You can be the best version of yourself, but do not try and be the best version of a Harry Tornado or a Joe Hollywood or a Hodgepodge Place or anything else. There's nothing wrong with those folks, but they're not you. And you have to be the best version of you and focus on you. So we're going to talk about success with showing up consistently, creating consistency in your Whatnot shows. Even if your life isn't completely consistent, trying to make some sort of semblance of consistency. Attracting new buyers, which we've talked about before. And if you're looking for in-depth information about attracting new buyers, go to my YouTube channel, which is the Red Rooster Shop. The link is up in my profile. And I have a 3-hour long, it's chopped up into 3 bits. It's a 3-part series, 3 hours of discussing how to attract new buyers. How to maintain energy and keep your energy high is really important, and especially learning what doesn't work for you. Again, it's not about what works for other people, it's about what works for you. So I want to be clear again. If I have to repeat this a million times, I will. Let's be clear. Consistency isn't the same as hustle. Consistency is trust. You're building trust with your buyers. You're also building trust with yourself, and you're building trust with the algorithm. The algorithm likes consistency. Consistency doesn't need to mean that you have to come on to Whatnot every single day. It means a predictable effort that compounds over time. So I'm going to talk about a system that I've created that is in the new goal planner for 2026. That is a 4-week consistency cycle to help you to try and be consistent for 4 weeks in a row and to evaluate each week as you go. It's something you can repeat every month and go throughout the year and adjust as you need to. So so my planner, which I've printed off some copies of it, some pages from it. So my planner has the 4-week consistency cycle, and the full information about the 4-week consistency cycle is inside the planner. So it's a momentum first approach to growing on Whatnot. It's built around the fact that growth doesn't come from one perfect goal. It comes from consistent, repeatable cycles. And 4-week cycles are something that most people can achieve. And so that's what we're going for. Annual goals, saying my goal for 2026 is X. I don't like to do that. And science backs me up that that doesn't work for most people. An annual goal feels heavy. It feels too difficult, and it can create too much pressure, guilt, and the feeling that you failed even before the year is over. But you can do a 4-week cycle, and even if you don't meet all of your goals in the 4-week cycle, you got another 4-week cycle to try again. Adjust and adapt. So that's why my new planner uses a 4-week cycle instead of an annual cycle or even a quarterly cycle. Although I do encourage you, and I will be talking about how to evaluate quarterly as well, because you need to if you have the rewards club. So the reason why a 4-week cycle works is because a month is a long enough period to see real patterns, to test ideas more than once, and to notice what's actually working and what's not working. Good morning. But short enough, 4 weeks is short enough to adjust before frustration sets in, to let go of goals that aren't realistic, and to respond to changes in your energy level, your life, or even your inventory. Each cycle is a fresh start, not a judgment. And I think that's important. You need to give yourself permission to fail. As you're trying to grow, you are going to make mistakes. And so the 4-week cycle allows you to try out new things, see what works, let go of what doesn't. This cycle is a feedback loop and not a checklist. It's flexible. It's not rigid at all. It's designed for progress over perfection. The cycle is not a productivity contest. There's no hustle plan, and it's a promise that you can't change. There's nothing there that you can say, you know what? I tried it for 4 weeks and it didn't work, and I'm going to try something else. It's not an annual goal that you're stuck with. So every month follows the same rhythm. Week 1, you're going to set your direction. You're going to set your baselines. You're going to decide what matters right now. Not forever, not for the whole year, just for this cycle. Because Whatnot's changing on a regular basis. So having like an annual plan doesn't work really well with an app that is constantly changing and evolving, growing, adding new features, adding new categories. 4-week cycle also keeps you ahead of the game that way. So it helps you set a baseline for your number of shows you're going to do, the number of viewers you want to have, the amount of revenue you want to have, the number of new buyers you want to have, and the energy level that you're going to sustain throughout that. See, if you start to push yourself too far, you're going to realize that you've lost some of your energy. That loss of energy can actually result in less sales. So sometimes it is better to keep an eye on your energy level and adjust down rather than trying to push higher. If your energy level does not match. So in weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4, every week you are going to evaluate at the end of the week. You're going to go live consistently. You're going to try different hooks, and I'll talk about those hooks in a second. And you're going to pay attention to how buyers respond and make small adjustments every week as you go. Hooks are tested throughout the cycle, not all at once. And I'll talk a second about hooks. And then at the end of week 4, you're going to look back without judgment and ask yourself what worked, what didn't, what surprised me, and what should I carry forward. Then you choose one thing to improve in the next 4-week cycle, and that's it. And why does this build real growth? And that's because it builds consistency without burnout. It makes progress visible, and small incremental progress suddenly becomes visible and you can appreciate it. It encourages you to experiment in your shows and try new things without chaos. And it helps you to spot growth through new buyers, not just sales, because I'm going to ask you to track new buyers as well as just buyers in general. And it allows you to pivot your goals before it becomes too discouraging. You're not starting over every month, but you're stacking your momentum. So if something works, keep doing it. If something doesn't work, tweak it, and you're going to stack your momentum. So this is what the page looks like. Your first 4-week cycle page looks like this. The first question is, what is my capacity this month? That's energy level. Is it going to be low, medium, or high? How many shows can I realistically run consistently? And the number of hours that I want to stream. You put down what your current average viewers are, which you can find at seller.whatnot.com. You can look at your analytics and see what your average viewership is and what your goal for the number of viewers you want to have this cycle. And then you put a target for the number of repeat buyers you want to have in this 4-week cycle, whether that's 10 repeat buyers or 5 repeat buyers, whatever works for you. And then you're also going to put your what I'm calling revenue comfort target range. So instead of saying, I'm going to set a sales goal of $1,000 this 4-week cycle, you're going to put what's good, what's a good level, and what's an amazing amount. So a good would be $750. Amazing would be $1,500. So you give yourself a range, not one solid target. So if you can hit within that range, it's a success. Also, you're going to put in a target for the number of new buyers you want to have. This is really important because new buyers are an indication of whether or not you're actually growing. There's nothing on here that asks you about how many followers you have, because followers do not equal sales. I have seen people with 40,000 followers on their profile. They're following 150,000 people to get 40,000 followers. They're just doing follow for follow. That doesn't equal sales. I want to track how many new buyers you got. I want to track how many repeat buyers you have. Loki, please don't. And then what is one constraint that you're going to have this cycle? So like this year, right? I mean, this month. What's the biggest constraint for this month that most people have that would affect their ability to be on target with this? The holiday season, family, friends over. And if you're a parent, dealing with the kids are home from school, dealing with activities, going to Christmas parties, having to bake cookies for the whatever sale, right? All those things. Holiday is a constraint for this cycle. If I was filling this in for this cycle, I would put the holiday season is my biggest constraint. It's going to take away my time and my energy level from being able to do shows. And then there are hooks, and I want to talk about hooks for a second. These are the hooks that you're going to test out. So in every show, I want you to try and have a hook in your show. So whether it's a highlighted item that you're showing off, like say you're selling vintage decor and you have an amazing swung vase or a really rare Goble figurine that you're going to be selling that's highly collectible. That's your banger highlighted item. And you're going to be promoting that on social media and everywhere else. And you're going to be sharing it, talking about it in your shows beforehand. That's your highlighted item. You're going to have flash sales. That's another hook that keeps people in and buying. Giveaways are another option for hook. They're not my favorite, but they are another hook. Exclusive drops. So say you sell something amazing. Stamp pickers. Hello, good morning, Corey. Stamp pickers could announce he's going to drop in his show one of those Queen Victoria stamps, the very first, what are they, black stamps? I don't know what they're called, but you know what I mean. He's going to drop a super rare stamp in the next show. And that's like, it's only going to be available in the next show. That is a hook for stamp collectors. Rewards club shows do every once in a while. Penny black. Thank you. Yes. You gave away one last night. Shut the front door. Yes. A penny black. A penny. So if you have, for example, if you're in shoes or women's fashion and you have some sort of accessory that is like highly sought after or just really rare and amazing, if you're in like Y2K clothing and you have an amazing t-shirt for a band that is really popular, that's your exclusive drop. Rewards club shows, once you have an established rewards club, when you get gold and above members, you can do rewards club only shows where only those folks can come into that show. So you can do those kind of special shows to reward your rewards club members for their patronage. They're your return buyers. They're your bread and butter. You want to encourage them and you want to reward them. So special deals and special items in a rewards club show. Another hook is something that is absolutely free that you can do. Do something fun or interactive in your show. Have a little game, have a red chat game, or have do trivia questions. Do something a little bit fun and different, even if it's dress up. Like, for example, Shop with Danny had Mrs. Claus come and sell again. Or is it on the 14th? I think it's on the 14th. Mrs. Claus is coming to Shop with Danny on the 14th. That is a hook. That's a fun, interactive hook. So always think about what is the hook that's going to bring people into this show, and make that part of your 4-week cycle, is to always have some sort of hook for each show. And a hook can be a different thing depending on the category that you're in. So you're going to test different hooks to see which one worked for you, which one didn't, which one are you going to continue, which one are you going to, if you did trivia and it just didn't work, forget it. Move it on. Debbie liking this is doing her first show today at 2. Yes, congratulations. So then I'm not going to go through every week, but every week has a week in review that you fill in every single week. So you just print these off, or every week. So there's like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Each week you do a review. You see what was your average viewership? What was your how many repeat buyers did you have this month, this week, etc. Every week you write this down. So then you can compare week to week and see your patterns. And you can say and then at the end here it says micro adjustments for the next cycle. That's in the weekly review. And then in the week 4 results, what you're going to do is what was my capacity this month? How many shows did I do? How many hours did I stream? What was my goal for average viewers? What did I actually get? What was my target for repeat buyers, etc.? You're going to review all of that. You're going to look at which hooks worked. You're going to circle the hooks that worked, and you're going to write down to remind yourself which hooks didn't justify the effort or the cost. For example, giveaways. Did they work? Did they not work? Was it worth the effort and the cost? And then always one thing that I'm going to carry over into the next month. You can carry over more than one thing, but that's just how it is. Okay, we've talked about that. I'm going to skip. We did that. Okay. I'm going to talk again about hooks because I think it's worth repeating. So a hook on Whatnot is a clear reason why someone should click into your show, stay, and participate. It's the hook that drags them in. It answers the buyer's silent question, why this show and right now? And remember, when people are scrolling through shows, they only have 0.35 seconds to decide to go into your show. So again, hooks are things that are going to bring people in, highly desirable or rare items, flash sales, giveaways, exclusive drops, rewards club, interactive and fun shows like trivia, games, audience choice, anything that's interactive. Hooks are definitely not gimmicks and should not be gimmicks. They are attention anchors in a very crowded marketplace. The goal is not to use every single hook in every single show. It is to test one or two intentionally to see which ones work best for you and your vibe and your tribe, because everybody has a different set of buyers and viewers. And remember, you have more viewers than you do buyers, and that's okay. That's normal. You're going to have people who are going to come in for the experience of you, and I'm going to talk more about that in a second because I think that's really important. So let's talk about scaling up. Does anyone have any questions about the 4-week cycle before I go on? Otherwise, I will continue, or I can answer later. So scaling up. So we're going to talk now about scaling up your business, setting goals to scale up your business. How can you get the 4-week cycle sheet? If you go down here to the QR code, or you go in my profile or show notes, the link is written down there, so you can go into the resources. Or if you're on our Discord, I've put the link in the general chat in the Discord. Canadian Brick Cafe says, pick a day and have a hook for that day. Win trivia night and get a coupon code. Yeah, that's a great idea. Fun things like that are great hooks to bring people in. And people love trivia. People do love trivia. Not everybody, but most people love trivia. Make it easy, though. My daughter said to me, my trivia, when I was doing trivia one night with her on Whatnot, she said, your trivia is too hard. Make your trivia easier. So I actually switched to Jeopardy questions, which surprisingly enough are fairly easy. Guess the song from your childhood. That's a great idea. Name that song. I mean, and you can also do related to your category, right? So you could do Lego themed ones, or Disney questions in a Disney show, or fashion questions about designers. Music, Bitbuster Video can do movies and television ones. Name the Disney princess. Exactly. Yeah. Make them fun and interactive and something that everyone feels that they can participate in. Don't make them so easy that they feel like they're being treated like a kindergartner, right? You want it to be somewhat challenging, but not too challenging. Mix it up a little. Okay, so scaling up your business. Oh, Collecto Card says, the hook. I made a mini night club in my show. I added trading cards with repeated customers' name that come back to my show. Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. The little nightclub. I love it. Debbie liking this says, my hook for today is come join me on my first show to see my treasures. Yeah, it's your first show. That's your hook. Your hook is that it's your very first show. I love it. Everyone, please follow and bookmark Debbie liking this. She's going to be doing her very first show. It's very exciting. Okay, so scaling up your business without breaking your business. So scaling up is not doing more yourself. And this is what I'm going to underline, is it's really important that if you're planning on scaling up your Whatnot business, that you do not go beyond your own personal capacity, because then you're just going to get yourself into troubled waters. So scaling up means removing friction so that you can sell, and that becomes your main job again. So here's some signs that it's time that you've grown and that it's time to start doing some delegating. So if you find that your shipping is backing up, if this sounds familiar, you've got so much, you've been selling so much that your shipping is starting to back up. Your listing feels overwhelming. Your admin work drains your energy. Or you feel like you could sell more, but you just don't have the capacity to do so, or the time, because of all the other things that you have to do. Motivation is clearly not the issue. If that's what you're feeling, it's the fact is you don't have enough capacity yourself. Canadian Brick Cafe says scaling up can also include improving your setup, improving your audio quality, multiple cameras, creating a shipping station. Making yourself as efficient as possible in shipping is really important. Set aside a dedicated spot in your house or your business where you are going to do shipping, and that nothing else goes on there but shipping, so that everything is in its right place and it's quick and easy for you to do shipping. Don't be like me, where you're searching around for the darn scissors. Where did the scissors go? I don't know how many times I have to run around going, where are the scissors? Or I have 20 pens, but do you think any of them works when I want to write a thank you note? No, of course not. Canadian Brick Cafe says, I want to start doing hour-long shows, and then after the hour, I show everyone how I ship those orders. Yes, that's a great idea. That'd be a great fun, you could actually switch. So one of the things that a lot of people don't know is you can go into seller.whatnot.com and you can go to your show while you're live. You can go to the shows section and you can edit your show while you're live in seller.whatnot.com. You can edit your show and change the category. So you just need to go onto a browser on your computer. You might be on your, like I'm on my phone right now, and you can change it to a community show. You can switch it partway through from Lego to community if you wanted to. If you wanted to, you don't have to, but it's kind of cool. You can switch. You can switch gears. The one thing is though, it does start the timer. The timer restarts, which I find very interesting. So the timer restarts, and we'll say that you've now only been, if I was to switch the timer now, it would start at 0 and start counting up about how many hours I've been on. Debbie, like in this, says, thank God everything is in one place in my she shed. Yep. Collector card says, saving time. If I sit on my chair, I can 180, get the product from the right, center cell, and left side is sorting for shipping. That's brilliant. Just go. You could spin, maybe. Just spin around. Make yourself dizzy going so fast. That's a great idea. Yeah, and having a good setup, having a clean setup. Again, hi, my name is Kim. Don't be me. Having a clean setup where all your stuff is where you need it. Taking that time out to do that is really important for helping to make you as efficient as possible. Okay, so when you get to that point where you say, you know what, I could sell more. If I could eliminate X thing that I'm doing, I would be able to sell more. So I don't know if a lot of you watched Whatnot Sellers did an interview with Michelle's Deals, who's like an amazing seller on Whatnot. And I remember when she first started, because she was one of the small sellers that joined my little thrift to gift raid train at the time. And she was a hustler, but she had just really started on Whatnot. And I remember when she started. And she has scaled up very carefully by delegating things to other people that she doesn't need to be doing so that she can concentrate on selling time and other people can do the other work. So common first delegations that you should think about, and it could just be a neighborhood kid, a family member, like, get your husband to help you out with shipping, or one of your kids to help you out with shipping, or it might be a neighborhood kid, or it might be a friend that you know part-time, or a senior citizen who lives in the area who wants just a part-time job. We're talking about like 5 to 10 hours maybe that you can delegate to somebody else. So shipping and fulfillment is one that is easy to delegate to someone else as long as you have trust. Teach them how you like to do shipping, and then be able to delegate that. Listing creation. There are a lot of sellers that outsource listing creation to other people. So they take the pictures, they send the pictures to someone else, and that person uploads everything, puts in the descriptions and everything else, and sets it up on Whatnot. And within Whatnot, if you go to help.whatnot.com, you can learn all about how you can create teams on Whatnot, and you can add users. So say I wanted to have vintage buyback Kelly Irish. Hi, Kelly. As one of my listing helpers, like I hired her to help with listing, then I could add her to my team so that she would be able to manage my inventory for me. And then obviously I would pay her. So there are a lot of Whatnot sellers who are actually part-time Whatnot listers or Whatnot helpers in some other way to other bigger sellers. Helping out with inventory prep. So if you're an estate sale, or if you're in clothing, having somebody come and just help you with putting everything on hangers and getting everything steamed and make sure everything's clean and check for pills and do all the measurements in that, all that kind of stuff. Having somebody that comes in even for 2 or 3 hours can make a huge difference in your productivity. Social media and marketing, you can outsource that as well. Yes, does it cost, all these things cost money? Yes, but we're talking about scaling up. So if you say to yourself, okay, I have gotten myself to the point where I'm at my maximum number of hours that I can sell on Whatnot, and I'm doing well, and I've improved on Whatnot. I've grown my business on Whatnot, but now I am not able to sell as much as I want to because I have to do these other things in order to make my business successful. The shipping and the inventory creation and the inventory prep and the listings and the social media and the bookkeeping. All of these things you can outsource. Even freeing up 5 to 10 hours a week, if you think it 5 hours at $20 an hour, that's $100. If you could get somebody else for $100 to do something so that you could sell for 5 hours, um, you may be able to make way more than that $100, right? So but this is when you get to that point. When you get that to that point on Whatnot, where 5 hours equals more than $100 in sales and revenue, true revenue for you, then you need to consider delegating those 5 to 10 hours that you're spending on shipping to someone else so that you can do sales instead, because you will be making more money that way. So if you can free up 5 to 10 hours by delegating something, you're going to have more shows that you can unlock. You can have better engagement with your audience, higher conversion rates because you're on more often and for longer, and it will cause less burnout because you've got somebody to help you out in the background. Many large sellers or growing sellers, including sellers like Michelle's Deals, grew by delegating operations so that they could focus on selling, keeping their energy high, and making the buyer experience as good as possible. So it's an important consideration. So when scaling, you need to track the following things. You need to look at your shows per week before and after. So if you're going to test out scaling by, say, hiring somebody for like 5 hours a week, right? I need you to look at how many shows or how many hours of selling did I do before I had somebody helping me 5 hours a week, and how many did I do afterwards? What was my average viewership? Did it go up? The metrics on Whatnot show, and the algorithm approves of it, the longer you are on for, the more you sell. Not just the more revenue you make per hour, the longer you are on for. That is what Whatnot statistics show. So if you can free up an extra 5 hours, that is increased revenue according to the statistics of Whatnot. So track that. See, does it work? Does that not work for you? Do your average viewers go up? Is your revenue for a show going up? Do you get more new buyers because of it? And how about your energy and sustainability? Like, can you keep doing this week after week in a 4-week cycle? Again, use the 4-week cycle to test out your scaling, to scale up, to delegate tasks, and then review it using the 4-week cycle. So scaling only works if both the numbers and the quality of life improve. If your quality of life doesn't improve, I don't think it's worth it, in my opinion. Okay. And then my suggestion is for your goals is to constantly be reassessing your goals, which is why I use the 4-week cycle. And I want you to do a quarterly deep dive. And I will add more to the goal planner about a quarterly deep dive. I just focused for now, not to overwhelm people. I focused on just the 4-week cycle. But the quarterly deep dive is something you're going to have to do a little bit of that anyways if you have a rewards club. When you do your next rewards club setup, unless you just hit copy and publish, if you're actually looking at the stats on your rewards club and adjusting your rewards club, you are doing this quarterly deep dive. You just don't know it. So goals shouldn't be changed weekly. They should be adjusted and tweaked, but they have to be reassessed. So as you go along on your 4-week cycle on a quarterly basis, when it's time, good morning, when it's time to renew your rewards club, which is every quarter, this is a natural reset point for you to look at compare yourself from one quarter to the other. And rewards club analytics that you get give you all that detail. So you get a quarterly report using the rewards club. And if you don't have rewards club yet, that's okay. There are other analytics that you can use until you do qualify for a rewards club. And if you've decided not to use rewards club, I would encourage you to rethink that, because it is one of the best things that they've done recently to help Whatnot sellers grow is this rewards club, because it's part gamification, it's part social. There's elements to it that you do not want to eliminate, and I highly recommend that, because it's like, and it's already built in coupons. You don't need to mention coupons, you don't have to do coupons all the time. If you don't want to, the rewards club creates coupons for you, and you can so I highly recommend that you use rewards club, and then use that quarterly deep dive on the rewards club statistics to give yourself an indication of how you are growing quarterly versus your 4-week cycle. So are viewers trending up, down, or are they flat? Is my new buyer count increasing? Are repeat buyers returning? Am I seeing more people going from silver level to gold or diamond or platinum? Are there more? Are they buying more, or are they buying less? Sorry. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm scanning through my notes to make sure I got everything that I wanted to talk about, and I did, because I went ahead of myself. Vintage by Kelly Irish says, I set my first rewards club. Excited to get it going. Awesome, yes. And you can start rewards club if you qualify for rewards club mid-season. Just do it anyways. Do it anyways. Just make it fun. Good morning, Mamarazzi. So the last section that I want to talk about, I think it's the last section. We did an incentive to get my 2 top tiers for buyers. 6 made it, and we did a private show last night that had over 50 free items worth thousands. Oh my gosh, Stamp Pickers, that's brilliant. Scrolling YouTube this morning, saw you were live. Yay, I'm on YouTube. Thank God. Makes life easier later when I go to edit it. I don't have to do Yay. Hello, good morning, Melmarazzi. So the next part that I want to talk about in goal setting is something that is really important for 2026. And that is growing in a tough economy. I'm going to talk about the reality of the 2026 forecast. Stampicker says it went really well. I used the randomizer for the first time ever. So interesting. The randomizer is fun, isn't it? I do like the randomizer a lot. Let's acknowledge what sellers are seeing. More what sellers are seeing that buyers are saying. The Consumer Confidence Index is one of the most important factors in the economy. GDP is important, but consumer confidence, also consumer debt, but consumer confidence is extremely important. And buyers out there, your viewership is seeing higher prices. They're getting higher in debt. The buyers are becoming more cautious about big purchases, and there is lower impulse spending now. And that's just the reality of the economy that we are currently in. Even if economic growth exists on paper, and Canada is going to have moderate economic growth, we're going to be at about 2% GDP growth, and the United States is forecasted to be about 2.5% GDP growth, slightly better than us. Consumer confidence, though, that affordability, that hoax of affordability, consumer confidence drives discretionary spending, and confidence currently is fragile. So that is important to note. But the good news is that Whatnot is one of the best platforms that still works in this kind of economic environment. Why? This is what many sellers underestimate or don't understand about Whatnot. And if you've been thinking about selling on Whatnot and you're like, I'm not too sure because it's like a little bit different and I don't know if I'm going to like it, here's why Whatnot works. Whatnot is not just shopping. It's not just online shopping. It's a whole experience. Buyers aren't just purchasing items from you. They're hanging out with you. They're socializing with others in your show. They're being entertained, and they're feeling like they're part of a community. You cannot get that by going on to Amazon. You cannot get that by going on to eBay. And I'm sorry, even the Amazon Live and the eBay Live, they don't match it. Maybe Poshmark does a bit, but Whatnot has this totally different vibe that totally works. Yeah, and getting great deals. So it's the experience on Whatnot is much closer to, and the CEO Grant talked about this in a podcast a little while ago. It's like shopping at the mall with your friends. How many of us went to the local mall and hung out with friends after school? I did every once in a while. Our mall wasn't that close. It was a long bus ride, but yeah. It's like hanging out with your friends at the mall and browsing together in stores and maybe picking up something here and something there and something over in this show. And it's laughing and chatting and discovering things live. So, this social connection is something that traditional online retailers cannot replicate. It's not possible for them. And so, in uncertain times, uncertain economic times like we're in now, and we will be in 2026, people don't just want products, they want connection, distraction, belonging, as well as value and experience. And I think one of the really important things that I want to emphasize, because I heard from some Canadian Lego sellers, and I've been trying to like learn a little bit more about what's going on with Lego, because Lego like exploded. Whatnot Canada's Lego sellers, the buyers exploded, but they were all in a race to the bottom because they all did cut rate pricing. So the Lego market, the Lego sellers crashed, and a lot of them have left because it became a race to the bottom. Do not do that. Your value is not just in the deal that you may be offering, it's also in that social experience. So if you're not keeping up with your chat, if you are not engaging with your audience, and I apologize, I'm not answering everything that everyone's saying in the chat right now because I'm trying to get through this. Normally I am answering everything in the chat. That is part of the experience of Whatnot, and that is a value that is priceless. So it is so important that you remember that when you're doing a show. Try to think like you are hanging out with friends, and if you're not engaged in other people's shows, if you're not engaged in community chats, you need to do that so that when you go live you do actually feel like you're in the room with friends, that you're chatting with friends and you're talking with friends and you're selling to friends, right? Candy Bar Cafe says it's not just that Lego has a race to the bottom, it was the same for games, cards, figures, etc. Yeah. But like Lego had like, it just was like it went ploo. I'm so glad that a lot of you OGs are sticking around. So the social connection is something that is key to Whatnot. Again, it's like hanging out with your friends at the shopping mall, and I want you to think of it that way. You're hanging out with your friends. Make mine beautiful. Yes, you can. You do not have to include a packing slip, and but the label will have some sort of return address on it with some sort of either the company name or the person's name on it. There will be a return address on it. Yeah. So like mine will say my name. It doesn't say the Red Rooster. There's a big sticker on it that says Red Rooster, but I would look at your recents or just message Whatnot support to find out. It could be it could have been a giveaway if it was just one thing. Stamp Picker says, consider it commercialtainment. It's very important to be you, enjoy the company, give more value than others pay or time spent. Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, make mine beautiful. I would just suggest you message Whatnot support, just take a picture of the label and let them handle it from there. They'll be able to figure it out. So in uncertain times, people don't just want products, they want that value and experience, they want a distraction, they want a connection, and that's where live selling shines. And you cannot do that on like a static site. So the other thing I want to talk about is inventory management in uncertain times. It's really important that you don't overbuy. So instead of over diversifying during uncertain economic times, rotate your older stock. Make sure that you're bringing out your older stock. New stock is great, but you know what? If I haven't, if you have stuff that you haven't brought out in 2 or 3 months, bring it back out again. I bring out things sometimes, and the third time that I show it on Whatnot is when it finally sells. I don't always show the exact same thing every single show. If I was doing listings, I don't show the same thing every show, but I bring stuff back into the fold because it may be that the same person who I know saw it 3 times suddenly realizes they want it, or they can. Maybe the first couple of times they didn't have the money to spend, or they didn't have the spot to put it in. Whatever it is, they didn't need that piece of clothing at the time, or they suddenly need something as a gift for someone. You don't know what's in people's minds, so the best thing, you're not. If PJ Princess, has it happened to you too? Yeah. So rotate your old stock. If you have slow movers that they're just not moving, make it into a bundle, offer it as a bundle deal, get it out the door. If it's not moving at all, get it out the door. If you have some similar things, do flash sales, get it moving, get your inventory moving. You don't have to do cut rate prices. Again, don't do a race to the bottom, but offer deals, offer bundles, get that stuff moving so you have room in your inventory. You want to keep your inventory flowing, and always track your sell-through rate before you restock. For example, I should be doing this. The next time I see some Blue Mountain pottery, I should probably say, you know what? I'm going to skip it because I already have enough. And not that my sell-through rate is low. It's just I don't have any time to sell any more Blue Mountain pottery, but I can't help myself. So check your sell-through rate. For example, if you're selling minifigs and you see a whole bunch of, I don't know, I'm making it up now, Hello Kitty minifigs, and they're just not selling right now, then don't buy more unless you're getting like an amazing deal. Do not buy more if your sell-through rate is low. If you're buying new stuff, don't buy more if your sell-through rate is low. Focus on the things that have high sell-through rate until that sell-through rate goes down, right? Because there's trends. And that's also why a 4-week cycle is really important when you're selling on Whatnot, because what's really popular in February is not going to be what's really popular in May. Use your rewards club as exclusives to move stale inventory. Do rewards club exclusive shows, do like what Stamp Pickers does, do amazing giveaways, use some of that stuff as ways to thank people and move things along. And remember that cash flow and flexibility matter more than having an endless inventory. This is a do as I say, not as I do. Okay, and then next thing I want to talk about that's important for goal setting. And in my goal planner, there is a section that's all about social media and marketing and sharing your shows and getting your shows out there. There is smart, free marketing that you can do that will work to help you to meet your goals. If you just write things down on a piece of paper and not actually follow through, you're not going to meet your goals. And marketing is an important part of meeting your goals on Whatnot. So use the rewards club. If you have the opportunity, if you're eligible for rewards club, set up your rewards club. If you want to, you can use show promotion. Does it cost money? Yes. But if you use it correctly, and I've talked about that, if you go to my YouTube channel on my Attracting New Buyers, in my 3-part series on attracting new buyers, I do talk about show promotion and how to use that promote tools and use that effectively in order to be able to get value for money. Use exclusive drops, advertise that on all your social media. Giveaways are tied to retention, so make sure that you are promoting that on your social media. Short teaser videos on your social media. Oh wait, seller collaborations. Why not have a co-host with another seller in your category, or even a seller who's not in your category, so that you can introduce your viewers to their viewers and vice versa? Because when you co-host with someone, if I was to co-host with Canadian Brick Cafe right now, Canadian Brick Cafe's followers who have notifications turned on for when Canadian Brick Cafe goes live will get a notification that Canadian Brick Cafe is live with me and will come in. They'll come into my show. So you want to think about that is, can you work with another person to co-host and collaborate to help each other grow? And there's Corey Stampicker saying, I'm literally looking to co-host in 2026. So reach out. Absolutely. Buyer shout outs. Make sure that this is absolutely free and helps with retention and buying, is to acknowledge your buyers. I've seen shows where people go, it ends and they go, all right, next thing. They don't say, thanks Dave from Alberta for buying that, you're awesome, and thank you so much Stamp Pickers for your bids as well, I appreciate you guys. Say thank you. It's forking free. Just do it. Also, give your chat a chance to help out and interact. It's totally free. Why not ask them, do you want me to do box A or box B next? Which one would you prefer? Do you want me to do minifigs or do you want me to do sets? You can, I've got Looney Tunes, Funko Pops, or we can do the Marvel Universe. Which one would you prefer? Engaging with your audience is important, totally free, doesn't cost any money, just costs you a millisecond. Right. What I do sometimes, if I want to remember what I have to say, I have a freaking Post-it note, which is very cheap to buy. And I use a pen, which is also very cheap to buy. And I write out point form. Make sure you do a flash sale. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. But if you want, you can use, that's right, folks, we're going back to the planner. You can use my show planner, which is specifically created for Whatnot sellers. That's right. It is a Whatnot sellers show planner. It has your title with your keywords, your date, your time. How long are you going to go on for? Is this a repeating show? What category are you going to be in? What tags are you going to use? Who are you going to raid into? You should always raid, by the way. What marketing, email, what sharing, what promotion am I going to do? The number of items that I'm going to preload. What are the coupon codes that I'm going to offer in the show? What are my top items? Those are my hooks. What are the flash sale items that I'm going to do? Also hooks. And then what other parts of Whatnot features am I going to use? If I'm in the US, can I use free or reduced shipping? Am I going to do a giveaway? Am I going to use promote tools? Am I going to do a surprise set? Am I going to multicast to YouTube or Twitch or Facebook? Am I going to do sudden death auctions? Am I going to co-host? It's all freaking there. It's the show planner. Also, if you do raid trains, I have a raid train version that asks all the questions that you need. And then it's right in front of your face. And then when it's time for you to go, okay, I've got to market my show, you can flip to your show planner page and go, all right, I'm going to check off. I did the email marketing. I did the Instagram. I did the TikTok. I've loaded the shows I want. You can do all of this. You can use it. Okay. Remember that on Whatnot, community is your strongest marketing tool and it's totally free. One of the things that we offer on Whatnot Canada, we have an unofficial Whatnot Canada Discord. There's a whole bunch of us OGs on it, as well as new sellers, experienced sellers, different categories, and it keeps growing every day. It's in my show notes. The invitation's in my show notes. Come on over there. We have so many great people and you can share your shows. We welcome you to share your links. And whenever you share your links, the algorithm goes, this is a good show. This is a good show. We should show it to more people because they're sharing it. Sharing shows, the number of shares you get is one of the metrics that Whatnot looks at to see whether or not this is going to be a successful show. All right. So your KPI is really important to monitor. And this is part of it's in the goal planner. So don't worry. It's in the goal planner. A KPI is your key performance indicator. It's your seller scoreboard. So you're going to be tracking. You don't want to track everything. You only want to track the things that matter. In my opinion, here are the following things that matter for your KPIs. What are your average viewers? What's your revenue per show? How many new buyers did you get? How many repeat buyers have you had? What is your energy and sustainability level? Are you able to keep doing it at this pace? If your new buyers are increasing, your repeat buyers are returning, and you have energy to keep going, then you are building something sustainable, even if growth feels gradual. And you know what? You can be like Whatnot and double in a single year, or you can have gradual growth. It's totally up to you. And that's why the 4-week cycle helps, because if you want to do rapid growth, you can, but you can do it in a sustainable way over 4 weeks. All right, so let's wrap this up because I've been on for a while and I want to get to everybody's questions. So let's just review. Consistency is vital and it beats intensity. Consistency is, the slow and steady wins the race. The whole fable of the hare and the tortoise. Slow and steady wins the race. Consistency always beats intensity. Scaling up your business to meet your higher goals requires systems and to avoid burnout. And your goals should evolve, not disappear. So adjust, adapt, pivot when necessary. Do not feel like if you change your goal to something a little bit different, that's a failure. That is actually success, because you are realizing what works and what doesn't work in order to grow your business. Tough economy is ahead, but tough economies reward prepared and community driven sellers. And Whatnot is the platform that is best positioned to be able to weather this coming economic storm. And collecting data and looking at your seller analytics gives you clarity when your emotions get loud. When you feel like you're not doing enough, or you're not doing it right, or you had a bad show, I want you to go back to your data and ask yourself, is it as bad? Is it a bad 4-week cycle, or was it just a bad show? Compare it to your last 4-week cycle and the one before that. Am I seeing incremental growth? 1 bad show, 2 bad shows, even 3 bad shows in a row does not equal failure. It means there's something that needs to be adjusted and adapted, or it just may be that it just was not that great a time of year. There are times on Whatnot where things get a little bit slower in certain categories and then things get hot again. Do not take it personally. Take the emotion out of it and look at your data. Hey, Peacock. So if you want a structured, calm, and repeatable way to plan 2026, I highly recommend my goal planner that I created, which is totally free. I'm not selling it. You have to download it and print it yourself. I guess I could put it on Amazon or something so you could print it out, but I don't want to do that because then that would be off Whatnot. One of these days, Whatnot is going to have it so that you can download, or we can do like print on demand and that sort of thing. It's not there yet, but they are working on it. Grant talked about it, so if Grant said it out loud, it must be true. So come on, Grant, hurry up. So if you want structured, so I'll leave you with this. I'm going to ask you one question and then we'll go to the other questions that are here. What is one thing that you can commit to consistently in the next 4 weeks? What is one thing that you could do to grow your business in the next 4 weeks that you would be able to do consistently? Considering I understand it's the holidays. And Magnus Marika says, I'm curious about December 25th to January 2nd. Are sellers going to sell or party? Maybe a bit of both. Maybe a bit of both, Marika. People still sell, and you know what? Christmas Day is a great day to sell. If you don't have family and friends over, I can tell you that Christmas Day is a great day to sell, because there are people who have nothing to do and no family, or they're trying to avoid their family, and so they're on Whatnot. Party and shows, exactly. Yes, have co-hosting parties where, like, coast to coast, do like an east and west, or north and south, or a New Brunswick kitchen party, a maritime kitchen party. Have a kitchen party, folks, with 2 sellers in their kitchens, talking and selling. You can go back and forth to each other. So for example, if you could co-host with, so say Angie started first, and then 5 Acre Primitives co-hosted, and then 5 Acre Primitives left co-hosting and started a show, and then Angie raids in to to 5 Acre. You can do that so that you can both sell. Peacock Jury says, I will be selling because I have nothing going on for Christmas. There you go. 5 Acre Prima says, New Year's Day was my best show. Peacock Jewelry says, I can consistently commit to inconsistency. Not what I was going for, but you know, that works for you. But you're going to be selling on Christmas. So there you go. I think that's awesome. All right. So I'm going to try and scroll up on my other phone because for some reason I can't on this phone. Angie's this and that says, I am building my buy it now as I'm not constant on shows at the moment. Yeah, that's a great idea. If you're not able to be consistent on shows, why not do more listings on your marketplace? I was talking with Timeless Treasures yesterday, and she said that she sold something on her marketplace to someone from the States. While she was working, she sold something. And Angie says, I sold an item yesterday from my buy it now. Yeah. So add stuff. You can add stuff directly to your profile. It doesn't have to go into a show. You can put it right into your profile and people will buy from there. People are searching right now for items for Christmas, right? So this is a great opportunity for you to put stuff in your buy it now, put buy it now prices on it. If you want to then do an auction show, you can take stuff from your buy it now and run it as an auction. So you still have that opportunity to give it at a lower price. But hey, if someone's willing to buy it at full price on the buy it now, then why not let that be available, right? Peacock says, I don't drink, so I can sell New Year's Day too. I promise not to speak loudly. A whisper show. Very quiet whisper show for people with hangover show where you just talk really quietly. Canadian Brick Cafe says, record your show, edit it to do a previously on like they would do for two-party TV shows. Oh, that's a cute idea. I like that. All right. I'm going to see if I can catch the questions. Oh, no. We don't have any questions according to this. So that's good. Hangover show, scheduling it now. Low lights and low voice. That's brilliant. You could probably do that on Boxing Day too, because there'll be people with hangovers from Christmas. So yeah, boxing over the holidays is actually, if you have the time and the availability, do shows because people are always looking to do shows. Not to do shows. They're always looking for shows to go into. There are less shows, and it's a great opportunity. Vintage Buyback Kelly R says, I sold a $2 item to ship back east from my marketplace. It was odd and not sure it was worth it for them or me, but it was a sale and left the house. Exactly. And Crazy Beat Lady says, unsure due to delayed posts. We'll be moving the special unboxing of handcuffs to Monday. Please come to our show tonight for an update. Yeah, so the Crazy Beat Lady and Shauna's Treasures and Art are having co-hosting shows because of these handcuffs that are traveling around Canada. So if you want to find out where the handcuffs are, you have to tune in. I promise nothing kinky happens in the shows. It's PG-13-ish. They're just handcuffs. They're just funny, fuzzy handcuffs, but it's a good joke and I like it. So check out the Crazy Bead Lady and Shauna's Treasures and Art. Peacock says, Boxing Day I'm shopping, out in the fray, fighting the good fight. But they're no longer the sales like there used to be. In my day, you would line up at like 4 a.m. to get the best deal at Future Shop. It's not the same. You could just go on to Amazon and buy that thing for 5 seconds. It's totally different. Everything's changed. The COVID changed everything. Canadian Brick Cafe says Chat GPT can be a fun way to make thumbnails for upcoming shows. Yes, as long as you keep on Chat GPT and look very closely at things, because it'll add extra fingers and weird stuff. Me and Chat GPT have a love-hate relationship. There are times when I ask it what the fork is wrong with it. Yeah, or a lack of fingers. Or a lack of feathers, in my case, when I'm making roosters, a lack of feathers. Weird things just suddenly crop up. Multiple beaks. That's one of my favorite. Stampicker says CapCut works well for videos too. Yes, I've used CapCut. It's really great. I like it. The Peacock says I'm going to end up with discounted Christmas decorations and chocolates. That's my favorite thing. Arguing with AI is my favorite pastime. Yeah. Or hand coming out of your face. I've had so many weird things where I'm like, but it's there. ChatGPT uses Dolly. I don't know how you say it, but and it's very bad at text, especially. Like I had a friend who made a logo using AI, and she sent it to me, and I didn't realize because I didn't look closely at the words, but one of the words was spelled wrong in her name of her company, and I was like, you need to fix that. And the problem is that you can't just go in and say, take this image that you made and just fix this little part. It like redoes the whole thing and starts all over again. It is not like a designer at all. ChatGPT needs, Stampicker says, needs great prompt engineering. Have a full conversation, then ask it to run logos, etc. will work better. Yeah, I always say to it, here's my background, because I also talk a lot, so I'm going to give way too much detail. So here's the background, here's the vibe I'm going for, here's this, here's that. Now ask me a bunch of clarifying questions, and then now I want you to make a logo, but I don't want the logo to be too big, and it needs to be this size, and it needs to be this color, and yeah, I go overboard. So by the time I'm finished, I pretty much could have just designed it myself. And sometimes I end up just giving up. Vintage by Kelly Irish says, and we've all heard AI is the person of the year. What the fork indeed. Yeah, I was very unimpressed by that. There's so many AI LLMs that are, some are better to run locally on your PC. Oh, that's true. Angie Cincinnati says, my logo I've used for years, someone noticed was spelled wrong. Okay, it wasn't you I was talking about, it was someone else, but yeah, see this thing. Peacock is leaving the house for coffee, show in half an hour, antique and vintage purses, you need them. Everyone go check out Peacock Jewelry. Magnus by Marika does logos, so if you're looking for a non-AI logo, go check out Magnus by Marika. Good morning to Montreal chicks. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about the goal planner? I feel like I haven't been on for long enough. Normally it takes me forever to talk about things, so maybe I'll just review the goal planner. The goal planner that I created, that's available for free, the link is down below. You can use that QR code, or you can go up into my profile, there's a link, or you can go onto the Discord and there's a link, or you can go into the show notes and there's a link. There's a link everywhere. I created this planner specifically for Whatnot sellers, to help them, the ones who want to grow their business in a way that's... Daddy's home. Daddy has returned home. If you want to grow your business in a way that's sustainable, flexible, and without dogs, my goal planner is about not about the hustle. It's here, a link everywhere. A link, yes. Okay. Oh God. Hurry up and get in the house, Nick. My goal planner, is not about the hustle. It's not about perfection. It's about momentum. So if you sell on Whatnot and want structure that fits live selling, if you want to build consistency without burning out, oh God, he's going to shovel he's going to shovel now. He's not going to stop. Oh. Stop shoveling, come in the house. If you want to build consistency without burning out, if you prefer short, repeatable cycles over overwhelming annual goals, if you want to understand what's working and adjust before it's too late, if you care about new buyers, repeat buyers, and long-term growth, Loki, fork's sakes, come here. Look, I have a ball. I have a ball. Loki, I have a ball. Loki, look. Come here. Come. Sit down. I know, settle. No. Oh, I give up. The puppy wants to be on camera too. Oh my God. He won't stop. All right, where was I? Yeah, okay, good boy. Come here. Yeah. Sit down. Sit. That's it. Come up. Okay. All right. Okay, I know. Oh, there goes the light. Ring light down. Ring light down. I got. Okay, where was I? This can make great YouTube. If you want to experiment with hooks in a thoughtful, low pressure way. Oh, I didn't even plug in. For the love of God. I was just about to say, I'll just unplug and we will take them outside, but okay, hang on. You went from 1 dog to 3. Yes, I know. Well, Lily's always been here, so it's always been 2 dogs. We did go to 3. Lily just doesn't count because she's like so little. And come here. Come on. You're going to go outside. You're going to drive Daddy nuts outside. Welcome to reality. Oh, yeah. There's Romeo. There's Lily. Lily's the oldest. Okay. There. Who let the dogs out? I did. I let the dogs out. If they escape, so what? It is all Loki's fault. He did create. Well, I mean, we named him Loki. His original name was Jerry, but my husband said he refused to yell out Jerry in public. He said he would not yell out Jerry in public. So yeah, we've named him Loki because Loki rhymes. They say pick a name that rhymes with their previous name. Jerry, Loki, it was close enough. And he is the Norse god of mischief and mayhem, and it is a very fitting name. He is just he's a typical Australian shepherd. He is just a goof. He's an absolute goofball. All right, where were we? This planner is for you. If you want to experiment with hooks in a thoughtful, low pressure way, this planner is for you. If you want a planner that respects your energy, your capacity, and real life, this planner's for you. Also, if you like reflection, learning, and steady improvement, the planner also has in it, I believe in giving guidance and not rigid rules. There is an introduction to how to use the 4-week cycle. There are also other planning tools in the goal planner. So if you want to be able to do a SWOT analysis of your business or your show or something you want to do, if you need to, if you need to sort of look at what are your highest priorities, like you've got a whole bunch of things that you want to do, you can do a priority matrix. There's a priority matrix that you can use. Living the Dream asks, quick question, can you make coupons that are good for buyers that they can use forever? Yes. All you need to do is so step 1 is you create the coupon code, you select how long, you select how much your discount is going to be, and then you hit next, and then it asks you to select a show. But right above that is a little toggle. And if you turn on that toggle, it will be available for until you delete or, put inactive. So yes, you can select, and almost all of my coupons, I very rarely create a coupon that's not available forever. I just find it easier just to make it a forever coupon. So I always just toggle that on. As soon as you toggle that on, you can hit save and you're done. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. This planner isn't going to be good for whatnot sellers that want a daily hour by hour productivity planner. It's not one of those type of planners. If you have a phone, you already have an hour by hour daily productivity planner on your phone. It's built in. So I didn't create that. If you prefer strict schedules and fixed annual targets, then this isn't for you because that's not what this is about. This is flexible, adjustable, and it's a 4-week cycle. If you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme or a viral growth formula, you are not going to find it here because there is no such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme on Whatnot unless you already have a lot of money. If you don't want to review or reflect on your data at all, then don't use my planner. And if you expect one perfect plan to work forever without adjustment, don't use my planner either. This planner is not going to tell you exactly how to sell, what to sell or how to sell it, because that's up to you. It helps you learn your own business and build something that lasts, that's yours and yours alone. So any planning that you do should be about improvement and not judgment. Some months you're going to feel really strong. Some months you're going to do really well. And some months you're going to feel quiet. That's totally normal. Almost all sellers on here have ebbs and flows. Both parts, feeling strong and feeling quiet, are both parts of building a business. And you do not need to be perfect. Let go of perfection, please, for the love of God. Let go of perfection. You just need to keep moving one cycle at a time. Okay, so that is it. That is it for me. Stampicker says 28 years later, it certainly doesn't seem like get rich quick. Please understand the journey is as fun as the end results. Yeah, and Stampicker, you've done amazing. You've scaled up so well. And Stampicker's decided to like focus on Whatnot. And it has been a huge success for you. And congratulations on that. Premier Shop. It's huge growth. And that's what you want to do is you really want to focus and adjust and adapt and pivot. So if you have any trouble for any reason in downloading that goal planner, just send me a DM, and I'll send you my email, so you can just email me and I'll send you the link that way. You can also send me an email if you want. I mean, I don't want 50 million people sending me an email, but you know, my email's already flooded. So Kim@theredrooster.ca is moi. Kim@theredrooster.ca if you want to get the link that way. All right. So that is it for me. Who was I going to raid into? I feel like I was going to raid into somebody. Let me see who's on right now. Stampicker says, I literally moved my business from other platforms to Whatnot. It's been a blessing. Thank you for inspiring me to stay here. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so excited that now there is a stamp category again, which is amazing. All right. So let's see. We've got 7 people there. We've got only 4 people here. Let's go into a newer seller, I think. 257 items sold. Selling toys. So, all right, we're going to go into a toy seller because I like to mix it up. I don't like to always just do vintage decor and all that kind of stuff. We are going to, Vintiquity's on. Dang it. No, I said I was going to go into Canoodles. We're going to, because I did raid into Vintiquity the other day. So we're going to go into a new seller. Hey, Pokepoles, newer seller, 257 items sold, selling action figures, doing a Canadian toy show, Saturday morning cartoon shows, toys. It sounds like a lot of fun. So we're going to go there. Have an awesome day, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I hope that you have an amazing 2026. And I will see you on Monday, or I might be doing, I'm going to be doing a jewelry show later on today because I have a whole bunch of jewelry to get through. But I love you guys so much. Have an awesome day and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Let's put a whole bunch of emojis in the chat.